So you've been having interview invites these days. You've been going for interviews and you've not been successful, and you're wondering why. You're wondering why you are yet to get that final yes that will change everything. You're wondering why you're yet to get congratulations, you've gotten the job. In today's video, I'm going to give you some reasons that could be preventing you from getting that final yes that you've always wanted to get as regards to getting a job, either in the NHS or in any care organization of your choice. So stick around, let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Shinaza, and if you're joining me here for the first time, I'm so excited to have you. And if you're my returning subscriber, come, give me a hug. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now, over to the video. One of the reasons that could prevent you from getting a job with the NHS as a healthcare assistant or in any care organization as a healthcare assistant or a nursing assistant or a support worker is not preparing well enough. When you're being called for an interview, do you know what that means? It simply means that the recruiters have gone through your CV, they've gone through, what you've submitted, and they feel that, oh, I think this person could be a potential candidate in our organization. You know what? Let's give them a chance. Okay? And that's why he gets that interview invite that says, congratulations, you've been invited for this interview. Do you know that you're not the only one who applied for that job? There are loads of people who applied for that job. But somehow your CV stood out and the recruiter decided to give you a chance. And trust me, you don't want to blow it. A lot of people don't even prepare for your interview till it's like 2 days to the interview or like even a day to the interview. And then they start reading for interviews, they start preparing for it, they start going online, they start asking questions. When it's just 2 days to the interview and you expect to come and smash. I mean, you could be lucky, but you cannot always be that lucky if you don't get prepared or if you're not well prepared. If you have an interview coming, it's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. Prepare for your interview. Read, interview questions. Go online, read up on interview questions on the specific, role that you're applying for. Practice. Keep practicing. Never stop. Don't relax. Don't be like, I'm gonna prepare for my interview like 2 days to the time or 3 days to the time. It's just a healthcare assistant interview. I mean, who does a basket? Those kind of things. No, you have to be well prepared. When you're well prepared for an interview, it helps you feel confident during your interview because your recruiters can sense when you're stuttering. They'll be like, is this person just waking up and realizing that today is an interview? You don't want to come to an interview and you're stuttering. Any question that you're being asked, you're saying so many M's, and at the end of the day, you're not saying anything. How do you expect to pass that interview? Don't stop preparing. Don't stop practicing. Don't stop asking questions. Don't stop researching. Don't stop reading the job descriptions. Do everything in your power to make sure that on the interview day, when you're seated, either via a virtual interview or a face-to-face interview, you feel confident and you know exactly what you're saying. It's going to give you a very high chance of passing that interview. Okay. Now to the second one. The second reason why you are not yet successful in your healthcare assistant interview is you're not dressing the part. Yes, a lot of people just feel so relaxed when they have to do with what to wear during an interview. They're like, I'm just gonna wear anything I want to wear. In most cases, your dressing says a lot about what you feel about that job. I mean, if you don't take that job seriously with your dressing, how do you expect those recruiters to take you seriously? How do you expect them to feel that you're interested in that job? Whatever type of interview it is that you're having, it's not an excuse for you to, dress anyhow you want to dress. If it's an online interview, you still have to look good. You still have to look smart. You still have to look decent and modest. But if you dress anyhow you feel like, it gives the recruiters the impression that you don't even bother, like you don't even care, whatever. Okay? And you know what that means? It's a recipe for disaster. Now, over to the third one. The third reason that could be preventing you from getting a job as a healthcare assistant here in the UK is not showing up on time. A lot of people have missed opportunities of getting a job just because they didn't show up on time for their interviews. There could be so many reasons why you didn't show up on time. But if it is something within your power, please try as much as possible not to be late for your interview. Why should you be late for your interview if it is within your power? I know a lot of things can happen in life and you don't show up for an interview on time. But then if you have no excuse, if you have no meaningful excuse why you're late for an interview, Why should you be late? If it's an online interview, be there 5 minutes to the time. Be the one waiting for them. They shouldn't be the one waiting for you. Some people, when they have online interviews, they don't log on until it's that exact time. For example, if your interview is 3 o'clock, some people do not click that link until it is 3 o'clock on the dot. And you don't even know what might happen. There could be network issues. There could be some things that some unforeseen circumstances that you're not aware of. And when you click that link by that exact time and something goes wrong, your recruiters might think that you're not there, or they might just think that you're not ready. Meanwhile, you're already there. So when you have an interview, you should be the one waiting for them and not the other way around. Time management is very important. Whether it's an online interview, whether it's a face-to-face interview, always be there on time. There is something that coming to an interview on time does for you. When you come to an interview on time, you feel relaxed. But when you come in a rush, you're already disorientated. You're like, oh my God, you're sweating, you're panicking, you're really nervous. And that's not what you want. Now, to the fourth one. The fourth reason that could be preventing you is not asking questions. If you come for an interview, obviously you must have read about that company, you must have read about that organization. You should have a couple of questions to ask at the end of the interview. You cannot afford not to ask any questions. It shows that you're not even interested in that job. To be honest, like it shows that like you're not interested. Like you should have questions to ask, no matter even if it is just one question. Ask meaningful questions. It makes the recruiters feel that you're interested in that job or that you're interested in that role or that you've read about this job and you feel it is something that you can do. Always have questions to ask. And not when they say, do you have any questions for us? You be like, no, I don't have any questions. Thank you. Why wouldn't you have questions? You should have questions. They've been asking you questions all along, right? It's time for you to ask them questions and get some clarity on some things that you don't understand when you read their job description. So, yes, make sure you ask questions at the end of the interview. It's very important. Now, the next reason that could prevent you or that could be preventing you from being successful with your interviews, avoiding distractions. Yes. If you're going for an interview, try as much as possible to avoid every form of distractions that you can possibly avoid. Some people get so, thrown off balance by the slightest form of distraction. Could be a noise, just a simple noise, they're already disorientated. When you're going for an interview, make sure your phone is on silent. If possible, switch it off or you put it on flight mode. You don't want to be in the middle of an interview and your phone starts ringing. It doesn't speak well of you. I remember one day in the middle of an interview, my phone rang. I was so confused. I was so disorientated. I didn't even know what to do. Like, and it was an online interview. By the time I had silenced the phone and gotten back to the question that you asked me, in fact, I didn't even understand what I was asked. And I was like, please, can you repeat yourself? Needless to say, I didn't get that job. And I didn't even blame the recruiters because, come on, why should your phone be ringing when an interview is going on? Like, are you kidding? Try as much as possible to avoid all distractions because distractions can just spoil the whole thing that you've been working so hard for. Just a little distraction can knock you off balance. It is not just a phone call, it could be anything. It could be your environment, it could be the television, it could be just anything that could distract you for a moment. Try as much as possible to avoid distractions so that your mind and everything at that moment is centered on that interview. You cannot afford to be distracted. You cannot afford to be confused. This is your chance to get a job. You cannot afford to blow it up. Okay? So these are the things that could prevent you from being successful in your healthcare assistant role. Now, if you put all those points in mind when you're preparing for your next interview, there's a high possibility that it will be a success because these little details makes a whole lot of difference. So bear this in mind, okay? So that in your next healthcare assistant interview, you're able to stand a higher chance of having a yes, a higher chance of receiving a congratulatory email. Okay? That is all I have to tell you for today's video. If you enjoyed it or if you learned a thing or two, I'd like you to say something in the comment section and I also like you to click on the like button. And if you've not clicked on that subscribe button, please just click on it before you leave, okay? Until my next video, I want you to be happy, I want you to stay positive, and I want you to feel good about yourself, okay? I'll see you in my next video. Bye!